we have Riverside, we have Burbank, we have Santa Clara, which is up north. And there are, we have Pasadena. We have City of Vernon. There are a whole bunch of them. So all of these are the city that they own their own utility companies. Out of all of that, there are only 2 of them that they have their own power generation. These municipalities, they're just a distributor. They buy their power from the grid, and then they sell it to their customer within their own city. So Anaheim provides power to everyone who lives in the city of Anaheim. Same thing with Burbank, same thing with Riverside or Pasadena. Santa Clara up north, owned by the county. They provide power to San Jose and a few other cities around. So the part that it was very crazy when they deregulated the market is this part. Because this remains intact. Nobody touched it. And the confusion for these privately owned companies are how to deal with this. Keep in mind, the grid, it's all connected. The grid of these companies and the grid of these companies, they're all connected together. So Cal ISO, Independent System Operator, monitor all the transmission grid except these guys. They're not allowed to. A few years back, if you remember, about 5-6 years ago, we had a shortage of power. We had fire burning in California. A lot of our transmission was down. And, you know, there was a company called Enron. That's in the early, days of George Bush the son when he was the president. And what happened is, those guys, they were controlling the power coming to California. And they got caught on talking about the burn, baby, burn, because the more fire we had, the more need we had for the power because of our transmission, and they were charging us 3 or 4 times as much. But these companies, they cannot instantly change their prices. Every time they want to change their price, they got to go to the California Public Utility Commission. So what happened, all of these guys, they went up to the edge of a bankruptcy. And the state has to give them money to survive, not to go bankrupt. Each got $300 million of taxpayers' money. So those were the games they were playing. At the same time, LEDWP had so much power, they didn't know what to do with it. Because they had no control of their production or the system. So that's the irony. That's the difficulties that today's system has caused by just deregulating one portion of the market and leaving the municipalities untouched. Yes?
Is LEWP allowed to sell to PG&E or
Yes.
PG&E or something?
Yes, they can sell and they can buy. And during that time, by the way, LEWP sold power to Edison and SDG&E in a double, process, which later on they revealed it and they donate the money to Summers from charity. So that was a deregulated market, and again, that's all come down to government policies. Unfortunately, the politicians, like at the time, I was a consultant to Governor Pete Wilson. I begged him, it's too early to deregulate it, and we cannot just ignore those guys, and we cannot just deregulate one portion of the market. We either have to deregulate everything or don't touch it. We need study. But as a politician, he had his eyes in, on the White House. He wanted to be the president. And he thought deregulating the market and making a free enterprise, it's a great thing. And since California has always been pioneer doing crazy things, and that would be his ticket to the White House. He never made it, but we had a deregulated market, which other states start copying it, and now today we have almost all 48 lower states deregulated, with the exception of like Florida and a couple other states that they still not deregulated. But the rest of them copy exactly the same. Yes?
Do you think it works better?
Sometimes yes, most of the times no. If we could have done this part if we would come up with a better idea to control this too, and incorporate these municipalities into this. That probably would have worked 10 times better than it's working today. And that is the big problem we have today. California at this time, we had a shortage of 15,000 megawatts of power. 15,000 megawatts. Or, when you think about all those numbers, it's a huge. We purchase this power from the state of Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Wyoming, and now there's a talk to go to Mexico and get power. And the reason for that, because we are not allowed to build a new power plant because of the environmental issues and global warming, damaging the ozone layer, greenhouse gas emissions. So because of all those reasons, we cannot build it. Therefore, we go outside the states begging and buying the power. Okay? In the United States, even looking at the Texas, which is a bigger state, still California is a bigger user of power than any other states. So we use a lot of power. Total, it's a 65,000 megawatts of power that's been used on an hourly basis in California. That's huge.
That's about 15 large nuclear power plants or about 30 big coal power plants.
Yeah.
You need another 30.
So, one of the talk was about a year ago, somebody wanted to build a huge 10,000 megawatt coal running power plant in Wyoming and send it to California. The only thing is they asked California to build an infrastructure, the transmission line. Then they figured out the transmission line to connect that. It's about $3.5 billion cost. And California had like $20–30 billion budget, deficit. Where do they get that money to build? So it's a huge dilemma right now. And that's why we need to change. We need to change this culture. We need to change all of this to make it a lot easier. And that's why smart grid becomes very important. Now, the type of a power generation, we have fossil fuel power plants. Those are the ones that use oil and natural gas or coal. In the West Coast, we don't have any coal running power plant. Mainly the coal running power plant in the Northeast and the Midwest, because there are some coal mines there. Fossil fuel, we no longer allowed to use crude oil to generate power. We're only using natural gas for our power plant here in California. Then the other type is a nuclear power plant, of course. And we have two major nuclear power plants in California that both of them are decommissioned right now at this point. Even